We're talking about visit visas to the UK today. I've done a couple of consultations where very similar points came up, and I thought it might be a good idea for a video today to talk about those financial reasons why people get refused in their visit visa applications. The problem is what? When you do a visit visa application, one of the requirements of the visitor rules to the UK state that you need to show what your financial circumstances are. Whether you are able to afford to go for a visit to the UK, whether you have sustainable enough financial resources in your own home country for which you will return. Of course, the other things are that you need to show that you have ties with your country, that you have assets, so you have family, you have dependents, whatever your factors that you would return to your country for, those factors need to be provided. Now, whatever those factors may be, could be a relationship, could be children, could be whatever your other reasons. I'm only focusing today on the financial points. What happens? How do you prove those financial resources? Now, let me give you the example of what happened today in my first consultation. The gentleman had shared some refusal letters, and the refusal letters said very clearly that you have produced bank statements, you have produced what your personal income is meant to be in your application form. And so basically the two amounts given there are that this is my total yearly income, this is what my every month expenditure, my home expenditure, my personal expenditure is, and when you look at the bank statements do not correlate with that. Now, one of the reasons why that happens is people still tend to think, in today's day and age, people still tend to think if you put a lot of money in the account and make sure that the bank balance looks huge, then you will be successful because you can show that you've got so much money that you can go for a visit and afford it. That's not going to work unless you have given a full money trail of where that money has come from and how long over, what sort of period this money has accumulated and what the source of those funds are. So that's the first thing. Secondly, in this particular application, what had happened was that the gentleman is a self-employed person. Now, sitting in his home country, which is one of the Southeast Asian countries, he had made the application on the basis that his business account, where he uses all the money coming in goes towards the income towards the business, whatever the expenditures of the business are going again from the same account, whatever his personal expenses are, whatever his personal income is, it's also coming into the same account. So this is something that I'm sure a lot of people would identify as something that they do as well. That is, you use the same account for your business and personal purposes. Now, where it becomes tricky is when you make a visit visa application and you say, for example, for argument's sake, I have an income of £1,000 a month. That £1,000 a month will equate to whatever your local currency equivalent would be. Now, if your bank statement is produced, which shows £15,000 coming in, and obviously that is relating to your business, to your self-employment. And out of that, after your wages, after every other expense, rents and whatever is left, you are only keeping £1,000 from there as your personal income. If that is the case, that particular bank statement is not going to do the job for you, because that bank statement simply has money coming in from all directions and then money going out in all directions. And when you say my personal income is only £1,000 and my expenditure on that basis is only £250, that's not going to show in the bank statements. So what you need to do is make sure that you have a separate account, which is your personal account. Then you have a business account, which is where your business income and expenditure goes in. And then when you're making a visit visa application, those two accounts don't even need to be provided to the Home Office. You only produce your personal bank account. Now, the trick is that you must take out the amount that you require for yourself or that you say is your personal income, remove that amount from your business account and transfer it to your personal account. If you have evidence doing that of 6 months and plus you produce an income and expenditure statement which shows exactly what your income is, exactly what your expenditures are, and what the disposable income left every month is, then you have a very clear-cut situation where you're able to show exactly what you want to show for your financial situation. Now, I've taken this opportunity to just give you one example of how these things happen. Another example that we've had today. Again, the gentleman is saying everything right. He's produced his pension documents, he's produced his dependents, he's produced everything. Whatever needed to be produced there. The Home Office are still not satisfied because his daughter from the UK sends him money to him. And what they're saying is, we're not satisfied that you will come back from the UK because yes, you have shown your ties with your country. Yes, you've shown you get a pension. Yes, you've shown that you've got the assets. You have your other family members in this country. But because you have a daughter who sends you money from the UK, when you go to visit her, you will not come back. Now, we are going to go into a pre-action protocol letter first, pre-action protocol stage first to challenge that decision. Because sometimes when you see decisions like that, where all the financial documents have been provided, where everything else which is relevant to the application has been provided and still has not been considered properly, then that is your way of challenging that refusal. So when I talk about visit visas, we are talking about the financial requirements being met, your ties being met, your circumstances in your home country that need to be proven. The second part of the application is if you have a sponsor, what the sponsor's situation is. And a lot of times you will see in the refusal letter that it says, we are satisfied that your sponsor can accommodate and maintain you, but not satisfied as to your own conditions. Now, if that is the case where you've produced everything properly and you can justify everything that you are saying and your cover letter is justifying everything, the circumstances as they are, and still you get refused, then you need to challenge it in a judicial review. And the way to do that is in a two-stage process. The first stage is the pre-action protocol. What does that mean? A lot of people know about the PAP, pre-action protocol, but they don't know what it actually means. What it means is that before you start the action being the judicial review application in the upper tribunal, which is the High Court stage. So before you start that action, there is a protocol to follow. There is a process to follow. That is called the pre-action protocol. So what the Home Office requires, or what the rules require, or what the courts require is, if you've got a visit visa refusal, whatever your grounds of challenges are, those grounds need to be put into a pre-action protocol letter, and that needs to be sent to the Judicial Review Unit, the JR unit of the Home Office. The Home Office will then be given, you give them 14 days, you give them 21 days, you give them a deadline. You give them a time to respond. In this time, they have to respond with either we agree and we are going to withdraw a refusal letter and reconsider it, or we don't agree with your points and here are the reasons why. And then you can decide whether you want to go in for a judicial review application to the upper tribunal or not. So I hope this is helpful because, again, this is one of those things which are not usually covered in my general videos. But because today these specifics came up again, which comes quite regularly, I thought I will cover this in a visitor application video. So I hope this helps. And if you have any further questions, of course, like I always say, you know where to contact us. You can just go to our website and book an appointment from there. And of course, I will do everything that I can to help you out. Thank you very much for listening.